Spurs rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their 11th draft. It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, and whether you're wildcarding after Week 11 or just here to scout some differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, fixture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, how in the hell are you?
I think I'm in the words of Linkin Park, numb. A couple weeks ago, Jesus took the wheel and he crashed. He crashed the car for me. This week, I kind of gave the wheel to you, and yet you are no better than Jesus.
Well, to be fair, I haven't gone to church in a while. Also, I hope we have a good lawyer because we are going to get slammed with these copyright lawsuits with all these song references. But this was a game week.
This is just disgusting all around.
There's really two ways to look at it. I mean, you could look at it just purely from an output. You know, we did not get the point totals that we wanted, or you could look at it from the perspective of, you know, what do you really want a game week to make you feel? You know, the highs, the lows, the emotions.
No highs. There's no highs here.
There were some real moments leading up to this game week where we were really tinkering. You know, we were really flexing that tinker muscle of ours. And isn't that really all we could hope for? So in some ways, maybe this was one of the better game weeks. Couldn't you say?
No. Tough week.
Yeah.
I mean, even all around fixtures. A little unpredictable.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to get in? I mean, I guess we start with Spurs. Cracked the weekend on a sour note. Tough 2-2 draw with United. Richie thinks he scores the winner, the 90th +1, takes his shirt off, only to give up the equalizer, the 90 +6. I mean, doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah, no, Spurs basically don't have any attack, which is wild.
They really don't.
Kudus was injured, so, you know, right now they're basically playing Kolomuani, who came off, which we now know, I believe he has a broken jaw, so he's actually, I think, even going to be out you think he's going to be replaced on the Champions League squad as well. So, yeah, they're looking
Not
for
a big loss there.
No, but considering who the backup is, I mean, it's basically Tell and Odebear, who just a few weeks ago we basically said they're unplayable. Spurs, they get it done, but then they give it away. Entertaining game to kick off the game week. Bomo, managers who brought Bomo in, he rewarded those managers with a goal.
Not good for those who free hit though and lost the goal.
No, not good for those managers who maybe thought about bringing him in and then ultimately decided against it. Do you know any managers like that?
Yeah, too many to count.
Yeah. Speaking of too many to count, there were quite a few goals in what ended up being a matchup of Clash of the Titans, Sunderland versus Arsenal.
Yeah.
Hopefully Sunderland, they don't wake up anytime soon, because if they do, they might look up and realize, hey, they're pretty much, they're top of the table, in that top half of the table, I should say. 2-2 draw in a late bicycle goal filling matchup for those Black Cats.
Yeah, they continue to surprise. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a promoted team do this well. Well, I guess Leicester when they won it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. This really is. I don't even want to say strange, because I don't want to take anything away. we've said it. It's like to win the game in the Premier League, you've got to earn it. And to do it against, right now, I would say the title favorites, is you got to give them their credit.
Put 2 in, but Arsenal's only given up 3 all season. That's
Right, right. I know that's
shocker.
that's what makes it even more impressive. And for those managers who maybe pulled a free hit and maybe they tripled up on Arsenal defense, I mean, really just painful,
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
We can maybe get into that a little bit later.
Another goal fest over West Ham 3, Burnley 2.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Jared Bowen not on the score sheet. So I think you said it. He would be a good captain pick for this week. A good target for anybody that free hit. But Callum Wilson with the goal. Thomas Suchek chipping in again. And then Kyle Walker-Peters. I mean, these are names we haven't heard in 2 years scoring.
Yeah. Did you see some of these goals? Like, did you actually see the highlights of them?
I saw the Wilson goal.
Yeah. I mean, they're just brutal goals. I mean, talk about being in the right place at the right time. Yeah, I just is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I guess not a surprise, Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. It's just getting embarrassing at this point that Spurs are the only ones that can't hold the clean sheet against Wolves and get the 3 points. But yeah, Malo Gusto, João Pedro back on the score sheet, and your boy Pedro Neto, and 2 assists by Garnacho.
Yeah.
He's turned into a nice little pickup from them. Granted, it is Wolves.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot to unpack there. I'll say first off, on the point about Spurs, I actually was doing a little bit of research. So if you look at the Premier League breakdown, for teams, their home record and their away record, points that they've earned. Spurs have only earned 5 points from home matches this season, and they've earned, I think, 13 away from home, which is actually the biggest disparity between home and away point totals for any team in the league, which is pretty wild. I mean, most of the time, usually the opposite, right? You usually play so much better at home. You would look for at least, there to be a little bit more balance. So imagine if they played a little bit better at home, they could be in a better spot. So I don't know, but I don't want to talk too much about Spurs on that point. And then, yeah, Wolves. I mean, do you think if they went to the championship right now, they could just start their promotion campaign early? Like they could just start banking the points now for next season? Do you think they would allow that?
I think if they play in the Champions League now, it'll be tough for them not to get relegated again.
Down the league. Yeah. I mean,
they can't
all
score.
sorts of bad right now. Yeah.
You just look at the squad. It's nobody that gives you confidence.
They're bad. They're just bad.
And what else? What else do we see? Villa finally putting some goals in, but still no Watkins. A lot of goals to be had this week, but not who we're expecting them.
Yeah. Villa, I feel like are just it's almost like they're casually late, right? You don't want to be the first person at the party, but you want to just be.
I like being the first person at the party.
I'm Levi Rosa, fastest to finish award. Get there quick, get in, get out, get the hell out of there. But we talked about Villa at the beginning of the campaign. They had that run of fixtures. I think it was game weeks 1 through 6 or so, roughly. And how they were so, couldn't pass on them. They were not in any sort of form. They weren't returning, weren't getting results. But now they're starting to come through in a seemingly tougher run of fixtures, relatively tougher than what they started the season at. But now they're coming through. So, I guess better to be late than never. But yeah, Villa have looked good. I think, is this 5 in a row now for Villa? Or is it 5 wins in a row, or is it 6? I think it's 5.
No, they lost to Liverpool 2 weeks ago. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're 5 out of their last 6.
Okay.
With a loss in Europa League, but yeah, they look good. On the other side of the pitch, Semenyo missed his penalty. Might be time to cash in. Move out.
Yeah. You said it. I think last ep. Yeah, and we can talk about it too, but I think that Bournemouth have looked rough as of late. We said it early in the season too. I think Bournemouth were probably just going to go as far as Semenyo was willing to take them. As far as the buy, hold, or sell on Semenyo, I think for me, he's still a hold right now just because of their fixtures. Who are Bournemouth playing the next 2 game weeks? Do you happen to have that up?
West Ham and Bournemouth. Sunderland,
Yeah.
and
So I
then
think
Everton.
yeah, just on those 3 fixtures alone, that's enough to keep him in the squad for me, but I could see a lot of managers moving off him because, to your point, you're gonna see managers move off on him, and, you might wanna be able to cash in on those price rises if you got in on him when he was, 7-1, 7-0.
And he's also going to be leaving for FCON. So he's going to have a price drop eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, AFCON's around the corner. AFCON's around the corner. You know who has not been in a rut is now kind of teetering on essential for his price point, for his position. Tiago over at Brentford. He has
He
like
is,
6 different names, but we're just gonna call him Tiago.
he is looking good.
What is he priced at right now? I think he's at 6.8. I want to say he's up to. Does that sound right?
He's
6.3. No, that seems low. Really?
yep, won by 10.5%.
Wow, that's a lot. I thought he was 6'8". So yeah, I mean that makes him even more essential in my eyes. I think he is now behind Holland. He might be the second highest scoring forward. Do I have that correct?
He is. He's one ahead of João Pedro.
Yeah, yeah. Who João Pedro, who has now scored 2 in his last 2. Granted, it was against Wolves last week, but still, sometimes all you got to see is the back of the ball go in the back of the net. Yeah, I mean, at that price, it's Holland, and then you're looking for that next forward. He's on penalties. He's been in great form all season. Could be somebody who's going to make his way into a lot of manager squads. He's hard to miss at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having him in there, especially with my Sheshko pick whiffing.
Yeah, Sheshko, I think I haven't heard the latest, but I've heard he's going to be out for a little while. I don't know if it's going to be anything major. I think I saw some reports swirling around that there was some concerns that there was no callback clause in Hoyland's loan because now they have nobody really to back up Seshko, but it looks like he's only going to be out for maybe a few weeks.
You don't believe in Xerxes?
Well, I'm just telling you what the pundits are saying.
I'd like to hear what the pundits are going to be saying about Sean Dyche. Forest 3, Leeds 1. Has he turned it around? Still no clean sheet.
Could live with that.
He starts Jesus up top, looking for his savior. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's still a wait and see for me over there. They played Leeds, who have not been great.
Yeah. I don't think there's really anything appealing just yet about Forest. We're starting to get a little bit more clarity around player rotations. Like, I think at this point, it's very clear Chris Wood, not even a player you can consider at this point in time. Things like that. That's really all we're getting at this point, which is helpful. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we haven't seen the defense really kind of come through like maybe we were hoping it would, but it's still early, right? I mean, he's only been there, what now, 2 weeks? Like literally, I think, 2 calendar weeks? So
yeah, I think it's 2 Premier League games, 2 European.
yeah, so it's going to take a little time, but he's been doing great, and he's amazing in his pressers. I love listening to him. So
yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, but
and then the big matchup of the weekend: City 3, Liverpool 0.
Let me say it. I'm going to say it.
Let's hear it.
Liverpool suck ass.
Slot out. And this is coming off after a Holland miss a penalty. So for those that didn't have him, there was rejoice. That only lasted about 15 minutes and he scored a goal.
Did you see?
He couldn't take advantage.
Did you see? I forget exactly who it was. I saw a report. It was someone over in the Bundesliga. I don't remember who said it, but they basically accused Slot of not using Wirtz the right way. Did you see that report?
I did not. It looks like he started out on the left in this game.
Yeah. I
mean, this is his first start in a while, too.
From what I saw a player that didn't really impact the game. I mean, he hasn't impacted the game for quite some time. Listen, I don't really care if you're going to spend the kind of money that Liverpool did on a player that is as talented as he is, and I'm not gonna discredit his talent, but this was not an Isak situation. This was a player that they brought in plenty of preseason, plenty of time for him to get acclimated to the club, the squad, the country. He should be comfortable. They should have figured out a way to either incorporate him into their system or build a system around him as a focal point or whatever. But right now, he is just useless in real life. Like, he's not contributing in real life, and he's not even worth the conversation in FPL because I think He has no goal contributions, no goals, no assists in 11 matches. Like there's nothing to even talk about.
Yeah. I mean, really, all their signings, unbelievable how much they've spent for such little return so far. And we're, what, 11 weeks in? I mean, that's a tough one to sit with. I don't know. I think it just goes to show that last year Slot kind of got lucky with the squad being basically the same as who they've had. The midfield, rebuild never happened. Soboslai looked great. Gremver looked great. McAllister looked great. And Salah was on an all-time tear.
Mm.
But without Salah scoring all those goals and all those assists, Slot has not shown that he can manage a squad and manage the players.
Yeah. It's either exposing Slot because he can't figure it out, or it's exposing these players because they were in a system last year that just was being, like you said, just being kind of scapegoated by Salah having one of the best seasons we've had in quite some time. So, I don't know. From an FPL perspective, I shouldn't even say like I'm hoping Salah puts it together, because it's not like I have to keep Salah in my squad. It's not like any of us have to have a certain player or players from a particular team in our squads. We're not forced to. So yeah, it's actually kind of nice to see Liverpool just kind of crumble. And on the other side of the pitch, there's City just kind of staying in the hunt, 4 points back of Arsenal.
I
There's
know
a lot of
they're
season left.
really our only hope, right?
Yeah, a lot of season left. Lot of season left. I'm just looking at the table here, just kind of thinking about where some of the teams. I mean, there's even been quite a bit of movement, even just from a few weeks ago, to see a few teams drop down. A few teams have kind of lost some form. Palace have only had one win in their last five. Bournemouth have they've lost their last two. I'm looking here. United have won three out of their last five, but they haven't lost. So good for them. Yeah,
It's kind of.
table's taking shape.
I mean, there's 5 teams between 5 and 9, all on 18 points. So one game goes another way, and then it's quite a big jump in the whole top half of the table there.
I wanted to ask you about Newcastle. Obviously, they had a tough week this week. Red card for Dan Burn, or 2 yellows or whatnot. I think Eddie Howe was quoted basically saying like, yeah, I didn't take him out because I wanted him in there to defend set pieces because he's a giant. But do you feel that there could be a scenario where Eddie looks at the squad and says, hey, maybe our best bet at European football this season is just to win our European competition, and he prioritizes that over the Premier League? I'm not saying he's going to go full Spurs
No, I
from
can't
last
see
season,
that.
but
Look how that turned out.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are only so many spots. So like, I don't know. It's super early, obviously. To your point, like, if Newcastle won one more game,
they're
they
on
would
12.
be
They're on 12 points.
they're on 12 points. So, but
So
I don't know.
I mean, they're 7 points off Champions League. Granted, there's a lot of teams in there, but
Right.
I think
Right.
it's too early.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of just been too inconsistent, really. Voltemade's come in, he's been good. Jacob Murphy's been good, but apart from Guimaraes, they're really not seeing consistent attacking returns from anybody else, I'd say. Even Guimaraes, it's not like you're expecting him to score, or maybe they are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can text Eddie. I've got his number.
Yeah. Just tell him to, take a chill.
Yeah.
Plenty of games left.
Speaking of chill, some guy with mucho gusto. That brings us to our player of the week. We have 2 players of the week, I guess. Technically, there was a little bit of a tie. First one, Malo Gusto, 15 points. Chelsea defender, 1 goal, 1 clean sheet, only 3 DEFCON, but nabbed 3 bonus points, only in 76 minutes. Show off.
Pretty good.
And also on 15 points, Michael Keane, defender over at Everton, had a goal off a corner, off a Dewsbury Hall corner. Nice. Clean sheet, 2 DEFCON, didn't get the points, and 3 bonus points in 90 minutes. So a little bit, more traditional there. So, but again, another defender player of the week. So it's a nice job, guys. Good for you. As far as biggest flops go, I mean, I have to put Liverpool in here. I put Salah's name, but I think collectively, I would honestly put Liverpool's attack in here, the collective offense.
I think you're missing. I think Arsenal defense is the biggest flop of the week there.
I have them in there too. Yeah, I actually do have Arsenal's defense as the biggest flop. I wasn't gonna
Well,
just pick one, but I also have I have Mateta in there too because I think he was the most transferred in forward
mhm.
coming off of last week and just he blanked. So by definition, that is a flop in my book. But yeah, I mean we don't need to beat the horse anymore. I mean Liverpool just
We're against animal cruelty.
yeah no we PETA. Uh, I think I don't know. We're going to talk about it because I think we've got a couple mailbox questions here that are related maybe to Liverpool. Yeah, Arsenal defense this week just kind of. I don't want to say they fell on their face because they let in a bicycle kick in the 97th minute, I think it was,
Yeah, but
and
they already let one in.
yeah, I mean credit to Ballard. That was I mean that was a nice little
Yeah.
poke he had there, but yeah, not what you wanted if you brought in three players on a free hit. So,
Team of the week?
team of the week, sure thing. So I can,
38 points if you had these
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
What a
team of
week
the
that would have
weeks.
been.
What a week it would have been. So rounding out the remainder, we had Emmy Martinez, that's a Villa keeper with 14 points. Had a penalty saved Semenyo's penalty there, so that'll definitely help any keeper. I mentioned Malagusta, Michael Keane, Mateus Nunez with 13 points. So he had a clean sheet and an assist. Also nabbed defense DEFCON points as well. Tyrick Mitchell over at Palace, a defender with clean sheet and defensive contributions in 90 minutes, 11 points. Saka, name we haven't actually seen too much on Team of the Week here with a 12-pointer. Had a goal.
Yeah.
Thomas Suchek, 12 points over at West Ham, had a goal. Emi Buendia with an 11-point haul. Jeremy Doku, 11-point haul. Really nice game against Liverpool. I think we might be talking about him a little bit more. Garnacho, who you mentioned over at Chelsea with 11-point return. And Igor Thiago Nascimento Rodriguez.
Good roll. Good hard roll.
That was pretty good, right? That was pretty good. With a 13-point return for Brentford.
Did you see the Buendia free kick goal?
I did.
That was
I did.
love.
Really nice.
Love when the keeper just is stuck there. Can't move.
They have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They've just
Really nice. Well taken.
nowhere to go. Yeah, Villa have been they've been every button they've been pressing is the right one. And I think I saw Unai even say like the Sancho experiment has not worked out. They're looking for some attack transfers to bolster the attack in January, which is pretty wild because I think if you just get Watkins in form, like that's a great way to bolster your attack because he's done nothing.
Didn't need Rashford back.
Yeah, maybe he could bring some Payet with him. But team of the week, 138 points overall. If you had all of these players, you're incredible. You had none of them, it's okay. You can try again next week. All right. So why don't we get into our point totals? I think we've kind of been hinting at it. You and I, we may have had a little bit of a tough game week. So why don't we do Lord Tinkerton first, and then we can go into ours? What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right. So let me bring up Lord Tinks here.
Tinkerton on 54 points. We
That's
talked
tough.
his lineup last week. So Sanchez, 6 points in goal. Poro, Tarkowski, Mukiele, and Richards across the back. That's a good haul there. Richards with the clean sheet and the DEFCON. Midfielder Bruno with 5 points. Captain Salah only got 4. He did have Semenyo with the blank, but Doku, he still had Doku for quite a while now with 11 points. And then Evan Nilsson with 2, and João Pedro he stuck with 7 points. So total of 54. Pretty good.
Can we talk about Richards for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to use Richards as an example why defensive contributions this season are so important and why FPL has essentially it really has changed this season. Okay. So take a player like Chris Richards. All right. So just for context,
Taken.
Chris Richards, let's look at his full profile here. So right now, and we've been talking about Richards as a differential for most of the, for at least the last few game weeks. Okay. So he's priced at 4.5 mil. He is only owned, last I checked, by 3.4% of managers. Incredible value. Last I checked, he does not have any goal contributions, nor does he have, no goals scored, no assists, nothing. Right. So he's purely just like a defender that's out there. If I compare him with some defenders who have higher points than him, but similar points to him, who have goal contributions. Okay, so stay with me here with this. Fiore, who has 61 points, okay, has 7 clean sheets, a goal, and 2 assists with 3 bonus points, but he has no DEF CON. Munoz, so his teammate, has 60 points with 5 clean sheets, a goal, 3 assists, 2 bonus points, 6 defensive contribution point totals. Matty Cash has 52 points, 4 clean sheets, 2 goals, no assists, 5 bonus points, 2 DEF CONs. Do you see where I'm going here? Nico O'Reilly, 51 points with 5 clean sheets, a goal, 2 assists, 2 bonus points, 2 DEF CONs. And then Richards, 52 points, 5 clean sheets, and 12 DEF CONs. Richards is only 9 points behind Calafiore, who has 3 goal contributions but has no DEF CON. He's only 8 points behind Munoz, who has 4 goal contributions. And he's level on points with Matty Cash, who has 2 goals but only has 2 DEF CONs. He's actually ahead of O'Reilly over at City, who has 3 goal contributions but only has 2 defensive contributions. So basically, like a player like Richards, who's keeping clean sheets, which is what defenders have been doing for FPL, that's always the value they've brought. But now they're also getting defensive contributions. They actually should be almost, you could argue, the go-to player, almost more so than the attacking threat player that usually managers are like kind of trying to like find and try to get in their squad.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you like hearing all that? I know it's a lot of numbers to kind of consume and digest and follow, but like when you put that in front of you, I mean, what do you think about that?
I absolutely agree that it's a big shift in defenders' usefulness.
Useful eye.
Yes, usefficity. My only problem though is, and I feel like it's just this year, but maybe it's not, is that money is not the problem, right? So like I've had extra funds basically all year. So yeah, I agree that the numbers are saying he's just as good as Calafiore, or he's better than O'Reilly. He's only a couple behind Munoz, but I don't know. It's tough not having a defender that is more likely to give you attacking contributions if you could afford them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's almost a psychological thing that because the forwards are not, apart from Holland, the forwards are not expensive that everybody has, and the expensive midfielders are not contributing. Palmer's hurt.
Mhm.
Salah's, a question. I guess if you have him, then maybe it's a different story. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. It's just money hasn't been the issue for me this year. It's just timing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think a defender goal is 6 points, right? So basically I don't want to say banking on, but basically what you're rooting for is that your DEF CON, air quotes here for our pod only listeners, your DEF CON centric defender getting 3 DEF CON matches before your attacking threat defender gets 1 goal. That's the
Right.
equivalent, because
Right.
the clean sheet threat should be the same threat. That's more fixture based for a defender, right? Which when you say that part out loud about the like 3 DEF CONs is 1 goal.
Well, yeah. I mean, realistically, it's assists, right? Putting balls into the box
True.
from your
True.
wingbacks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect science. And then to be fair, the goal probably bumps you automatically to the bonus point. So it's not like just the goal, it's the goal plus the
Right.
bonus point. So there
Right.
are some, yeah. So, excuse me. There's layers to it for sure. But I just, I saw Chris Richards in here and I thought it was a good chance just to drop
That's-
that little tidbit.
I think that's a great example of, there's other ways to get points while being a differential.
I had a little free time today, put it that way.
Yeah, I like it. I don't think we actually didn't talk our points. That was all for
Do we
Tinks.
have to?
I mean, real quick, just
You want to go first?
yeah, I'll get it out of the way. So I had
All right.
28 points. I was talked into the free hit. I did triple up on Arsenal defense. I had Raya, Timber, and Gabriel. They got me 3 points total. I did bring in Kukurea against Wolves. He got me the clean sheet for 6. And then I brought in Reece James, who I captained, really confident on the clean sheet there and hopefully some attacking returns. He did not start. He got 1 point. Captain got me 2. My captain picks have just been unbelievable.
That was a crazy pick, to be fair. That was like, I don't know
Well-
where that came from.
What are you going to do? I did bring in Munoz on the free hit, who got me the 6 points.
It was nice.
Again, same thing. I had the money to bring him in on free hit, so I wasn't going to pick Richards over him for 1 week. Either way, free clean sheet there. Caicedo 2, Sar 3, Jacob Murphy 2, and then Bowen. I went with Bowen after I was shit talking him all season so far. He got me 2, and then Mateta blanked. He also got 2. So really bad week. If I did not free hit, I would have been better off. I would have Holland a goal, Saka goal, no goal. So
Yeah.
still would have Anyway, terrible.
Well, so let's also keep in mind, you tried to make the best decision with the information you had available at that time. Well, when we were contemplating the free hit, we were under the impression that the likelihood of the blank game week, double game week in 16 was basically down to 0 because of our good friend Ben Krellin. That has, I think that door has maybe reopened a smidge. But that being said, anytime you have 3 defenders from the same team, Euro is opening that risk reward, that chance where, if it takes off, great. If it doesn't, that's what's going to happen. I mean, the average points this week, nobody did well. I mean, the average was only 38. That's a very low average.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even on a 28-point week, you only underscored by 10 points on average, which,
Still hurts.
I had a similar kind of experience. So I scored 42 points. I also tripled up on Arsenal defense. Same as you. I went Raya, Gabriel, and Timber. I chose Mark Gahey as my Palace defender, who was not flagged going into Friday evening when I was making my choices. Woke up Saturday morning to find out that apparently he's been in a walking boot for the last 2 days, and I think the quote from Glasner was, cannot even walk. So that was brutal because, on free hit, I basically decided, well, I'm going to go 5-2-3 in my formation, and I'm not going to put any players on my bench. I'm just going to really try to field the best 11 that I can because I expected all my players to play, and that really backfired. So I didn't even play 11 players. I only played 10.
That is kind of unbelievable. You don't even have one.
Not a single
Backup?
sub. Not a single sub. Yeah.
Yikes.
If I also had Reece James and Kukurea, I did not captain him though. So our back lines were very similar. I did keep Mo Salah in. I regret it. To be honest, I had a few. I mean, I have screenshots of all my different drafts, and there was a few versions where I didn't have triple Arsenal defense. I might have had Saka or I had Declan Rice. All players that probably would have been a better pick than Salah, and also would have allowed me to have players on my bench that could have subbed in. But Salah blanked. Josh Cullen, who I don't know if you saw his goal against West Ham, but had an absolute just prayer answered for me in the 90. I think it was like the 96th minute.
Yeah, late.
But needed that. That was 10 points that I needed. Holland gave me 8 as my captain. Missed the penalty, so that one hurt. João Pedro gave me 7 points, and Voltemata gave me 5 with an assist. So all in all, 2 points on the free hit. I also would have had a better week had I not free hit. If you actually look at my team, I mean, I have Mark Gahey in my team already. I had Salah. I didn't change my front line at all. So really, I lost a Pedro Neto goal. I lost, but I got a Cullen goal. So those kind of were a wash. So yeah, I would have probably been pretty close to what I scored, if not exceeded it, and I would have saved my chip. Hindsight 2020 is what it is.
Tough week.
But around the rest of the league, not a lot of movement. We saw Austin Magero make a leap, moving up into 8th. See what else. Lord Tinkerton did overtake you, Jimbo. So he is now in 14th. Sorry to put that on record here on the episode. Jesus Christ with a 39-point week. did move up. I gotta give him a shout out though. Henry Paradise, if you are real, you with your 60-point week to break the 700-point barrier for the week. Did use your bench boost this week. Had Michael Keane on his bench boost, 60 points. What a week.
Good for him.
And you know what? I'm very curious if he's listening because he's got Minta. I mentioned Minta. I wonder,
Imagine the
did he bring Minta? No, he had Minta in his team last week. So maybe he had Minta in there already. Who did he bring in this week? Isidore and Jai. He sold Semenyo. Interesting. Henry, if you're out there, let us know.
Call us.
Okay? Call us. We just sometimes want to know, give us a little juju, maybe some sort of, just let us know if you're there. Okay?
Send it out into the world.
And Jimbo, this episode is brought to you by Juji Fruits, the chewy, fruity candy that hits you with that perfect mix of nostalgia, sweetness, and just enough stickiness to ruin your dental work. Whether you're sneaking them into a movie or grabbing a box right after hearing your boyfriend's been in an accident, Juji Fruits are there. Colorful, bouncy, and completely inappropriate for any serious occasion. Lemon, cherry, lime, they're all in there. You'll chew, you'll smile, and yes, you'll probably lose track of time. Because when life throws you tragedy, sometimes you just need a little candy detour. Pick up a box today at jujifruitjustice.com and use code TINKER for 10% off. That's jujifruitjustice.com, code TINKER. Juji Fruits, the candy that proves timing is everything. And back to the pod. All right, so we're not going to take a look at Gameweek 12 fixtures just yet. We are in our last international break until March, which is phenomenal. We've had, I think, more international breaks through 11 game weeks than I can ever remember to start a season. But this is it.
I think
now.
they're pretty standard now.
This feels like a lot. I don't know.
I think it's always 3.
Maybe I just am paying more attention because we're recording episodes now. But I don't know.
It'd be nice to have some consistency.
Yeah. Finally, some stability in my life. But yeah, I think we're gonna bring back a fan favorite. We've been getting some awesome reviews with the mailbox. We had a few more that hit the old mailbox since our last episode. Why don't we see if we can get through them and then give the viewers what they want? So,
all right.
First question here, Jimbo. I'll tee this one up for you. Liverpool's fixture run from game week 12 to game week 19 is too good to pass up. Who would you target, and how many would you bring in? Okay, so maybe we should look at their fixture run, right? Maybe that's a good start.
So they have Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, Tottenham, and then Wolves is December 27th. So I don't know where they said that the nice run ended. Yeah, it is a good run. It is a good run. At the same time, our Forest, a new team. West Ham's been playing a little bit more tough. Sunderland, they're 4th. I mean, yeah, it's a favorable run. I don't think it's not, we expect them to be putting 3 or 4 goals in every week, especially with how they have looked. So I would not bring in more than one attacking player.
Which one would you bring in? That's the big question.
So I think Gakpo has been the most consistent. I mean, he didn't start this week, but
and he didn't start against City, who, like, if there was a big enough game, right? Like, how could you not start your best lineup, right? Like,
yeah.
So let's go through the options, right? So there's Salah, there's Isak when he's healthy, there's Ekatike, there's Gakpo. We can throw. You want to throw Wirtz in that as an attacking player? You want to call him attacking?
He's kind of just a warm body, but yeah,
right. Sure. So you got those 5. So we'll consider those 5 as your attackers. We're not going to consider like Chiesa as an attacker. I mean, he's a super sub. He's a sub. He's not even super at this point. So out of those 5,
I would probably say Gakpo, but I don't think it would be crazy to bring in Szoboszlai instead, or even Gravenberch or McAllister. Like, at this point, guys I think Szoboszlai is probably more guaranteed starting time than Gakpo and Wirtz. Maybe not Ekatike with the Isak injury, but I don't know. I'm off Salah, just given his price and how little he's returned. So I would say Gakpo, followed closely by Szoboszlai. Soboslai as a number 2.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
once Isak is fit, I think you could probably make the case that you should just bring him in instead. I don't even know when we're gonna see him back.
I know. Their attack has been perplexing, honestly. So over their last 4 game weeks, Liverpool have scored 5 goals, which is only 13th in the league. So bottom half. On the season, they've scored 18 goals, which is 6th. So top quarter of the league. Over the last 4 game weeks, they've created 14 big chances, which is 3rd in the league. So they're creating a lot of big chances, but they're only converting at an 8.3% clip, which is 16th in the league. So, we talked at the beginning of the season like United. It's like, you make all these big chances. Chances don't matter. It's what you convert. They're not converting right now. So is this really a matter of Liverpool being bad, or is this just bad luck?
It's bad.
I think it's bad. They
They've
look
gotten
bad.
3 points since game week 5, right? They started
Yeah.
5 for 5.
Yeah.
And now they're sitting on 18 points. So they've just
Right.
been bad.
Yeah. I mean, on the
I don't think it's the
season-
same as United where they started, hot, but then they've slowly come up to that and they're in 6th or 7th place wherever they are.
Yeah.
Isak could just fall off completely.
Yeah, and I don't think Slot has figured out how to rotate his attackers and manage their minutes, but more importantly, manage their egos, right? Like you bring in a player like Ekatike, like Isak, with their price tags, they want to play. And it's one thing when you're winning, winning kind of cures everything, but when you're not winning, it can create issues. And right now, I think they're not winning. It's creating issues. And I don't know. It pains me to see that fixture run. Like you just mentioned, 12 through 19. This is one of the better fixture runs, maybe outside of Spurs in game week 17. But to have Leeds twice, to have Wolves, to have West Ham, Forest, who haven't really figured out their defense, Brighton, who sometimes let in 3 or 4. To have that fixture run with an attack like they are supposed to on paper, and to genuinely consider passing on all of their attackers is just so crazy to me. But it might be the right move.
I mean, yeah, they just have been bad.
Yeah.
Stuff.
But we'll see.
So Doku and Nico O'Reilly have been phenomenal. Could they be brought into your squad?
Yeah.
This is into your squad. So
there's
your
a question
squad
of
specifically, and then we can talk generalities.
Yeah. So the question of could they be brought into my squad purely just like could I fit them in like financially? I think the answer is yes. Riley, I think right now is priced at 4.9, I believe. But let me just double check. Yep, priced at 4.9. And Doku is priced at 6.4. So I could easily sell Kudus, who is at 6.5. I could bring in Doku. That would bank the 0.1. And I could sell Gahey, who's at 4.8. I could bring in O'Reilly. So I could actually do those two perfectly. And I have just enough money to do both those moves. So that answers the question. Could I bring them both in? The answer is yes. Now, the question of should I would say out of those 2 players, I think Doku has probably done enough for me to prove that his nail hits are probably a little bit more secure than O'Reilly. And I know on paper it's probably the opposite, but I'll tell you why. So if I look at Doku's minutes over his last 4 game weeks. So he played 73 minutes against Liverpool, 72 against Bournemouth, only played 29 against Villa, but he played 58 against Everton. So those are his last 4. We won't go further back than that. But prior to that, he actually had played, he did play the majority of the minutes. We always talk about Pep Roulette. It's a little bit concerning. When Doku is out on the pitch, he's one of those players that he kind of reminds me of Kudus. He's electric out there. When the ball's at his feet, he takes you one-on-one. He can create. He's got incredible pace. I think that his ability to create an open space, I think Doku would be a phenomenal player to bring in. When you think about the midfield options that you have there, I could see Doku coming into my squad. I don't think I'm actually going to bring him in, though.
Dare I say he's almost reminiscent of Sterling playing out wide for City?
I'm gonna be very honest. I have a hard time looking past the way Sterling runs, like his actual motion. 'Cause I just picture his like little T-Rex arms, and
Yeah, but
I can't get past that.
the speed, the dribbling along you know,
There are
the
a lot of
sideline.
similarities. Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you think about like, who he's in that price range, the 6.4 range. If I look at midfielders and let's say we put a, price limit, let's put a price limit just for the sake of it. I'll put like a 6.7. So we're looking at like, Caicedo, Leon Njai, Josh Cullen, Evan Bear, right? So like a lot of these players that are maybe a little bit more defensive to right. Doku is probably the most attacking
Mhm. Yeah,
out of these players, which is kind of what you want. Interestingly enough, Enzo. I mean, there's I guess Ismail Assar is at 6.7. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking for a more attacking minded midfielder at that price range, I could see it for sure. It's just a matter of minutes. And that's always been the case when it comes to any City player. Even if like, take someone, I know we're not talking about it, but like Foden, I actually think you could feel very good about Foden right now. Foden's been all but nailed lately.
he's been nailed, but he hasn't contributed at all.
Correct. I understand that frustration, but I think that at least minutes wise, like when it comes to City, you always just want to feel good that like the players are going to start. Otherwise, you almost need like two players
As a
just so you can
as
cover.
somebody who held Foden for all that time, getting the minutes did not feel good.
That's fair.
It's not
Now,
like the City of
speaking,
old.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Just because they're not scoring as
Speaking
many goals.
though,
The only goals they're scoring were going through Holland. So it's
well,
you
he
couldn't
is
feel
the only one
comfortable with.
scoring the goals. I think everyone else has like one goal, right? Nico Gonzalez had a goal the other day. I think that's his first. Scored. I mean, he should have had two. Who had the third one? Oh, Ndoku. So yeah, it's just been the Holland show. Now, as far as O'Reilly goes,
No.
now he's interesting, and I will caveat it with I do not think you can bring him in now. And the reason for that is I think his minutes are very much at risk. I believe Kuzanov is going to be coming back from injury. And I think he is probably the player who is most likely to take O'Reilly's minutes. However, if you look at O'Reilly's stats, right, take just for the sake of it, right, in the games that he has started, which is, let's see, all but one. So all but two. He didn't Nope, sorry. All but three. He didn't start against Wolves. He didn't start against Spurs in game weeks. So that's game weeks 1 and 2. I take it back. He has not started in 4 game weeks. But all the game weeks that he hasn't started, he has returned. So it's almost like when he does play, he's getting some sort of return, whether it's DEFCON, an assist, right? He's got 2 assists, he's got a goal. So when he's playing, he is having an impact on the game, an impact on your score. But I don't feel good about his minutes going forward. And at 4.9, I mean, I just made the point. I'd rather go with Chris Richards. He's nailed. He's probably just as likely to get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And I feel way better about his minutes.
And you mentioned Kuzanov, but also Eight Nori is coming back. So
Right.
Eight Nori, Kuzanov, Vardial, those are their starters. O'Reilly's not going to get consistent time.
No. I mean, he's had a nice little run. Nothing to take away from him. Only owned by about 2% of managers, 51 points on the season. Plus, he's got Newcastle coming up in game week 12. I mean, even just on that, I wouldn't bring him in on this game week. But
Yeah.
I think there's better players. You got anything on that, Tad? Or?
No, I think I'm kind of more pro Doku than you are, just given my frustration with Foden so far this year. So I've been on the other side of it.
Mm.
And I'd rather in less consistent starts, but contributions than what I was dealing with. We'll see. I do need to move Kudus out, so he was one that was on my radar to bring in.
Yeah, I mean, AFCON coming up. People are going to be looking for alternatives. Could be a player to look for. All right, we've got one more here. Fop Mob, interestingly enough, put out a flop team of the season, and I wanted to get your reaction to this. Now, some of these I felt like were warranted. Some of them I felt were kind of surprising. But They are fielding a 4-3-3. They've got the backup keeper for Liverpool, Mamardashvili,
Yeah,
in
that's
goal, which
that's not fair.
I don't think it's fair. I mean, he's a backup keeper. Is he really a flop? I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
The back line is, and they must just be picking defenders, not necessarily positional. It's pretty close. They've got Kirkez, Calafiori, Kanate, and Frimpong. So they're basically saying Liverpool's back line
Liverpool
has
suck.
flopped. I mean, we don't necessarily need to go one by one, but the collective of Liverpool's back line, I mean, let's start on the wings. Kirkez and Frimpong, right? The two players who were basically brought in to replace Andy Robinson, who was still there, and Trent, I think, have totally fallen on their face. I know Frimpong's had some injuries, but Kirkez has not impressed anyone. I mean, what do you think?
Agree. I think the expectations were so high that it's hard to not to say they're a flop.
Do you think there's
Konate, though,
any? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I feel like Konate, it's not. I feel like you can't call him a flop. He's been on the team for 3 or 4 years now. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
they know who he is. He started in 21-22 for Liverpool, so this is year 5. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say somebody's a flop when they've been there for 5 years, and are they your favorite center back to pair with Van Dijk? Probably not, but they're the best they have. He's the best they have. So
Yeah.
I'd say the expectations weren't super high. So to call him a flop for that, that's tough. But agree, Frimpong and Kirkez, you wanted somebody to come in and fill a super attacking wing backs, while last year Trent was getting shit on for not being a defender. So
Yeah.
throw injuries in, and yeah, it's just a recipe for disappointment.
I've heard that while Salah is away, AFCON, Frimpong might actually slot in up on that right wing.
That might be nice.
Could you imagine if he just goes in there and just balls out for 2 or 3 weeks, and Liverpool, they go on a run?
I might have to bring him in.
Yeah,
Hit
I
the
don't know.
curve.
I don't know. That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, do these players give you any hope that they could turn it around? I mean,
No.
you could look at this and say, hey, flops, these could be that opportunity to buy low, right? I see the wheels turning right now.
If he plays out of position, I'd consider it.
Okay.
They're not attacking, and they're not keeping clean sheets, so no, I'm not going to bring him in now.
Okay. Are you surprised to see Calafiori back there?
Yeah, that's a wild one to throw in. I mean, he has, 1 goal and a couple assists, and they let in 3 goals prior to this week. I mean, that's almost insulting to put him on there.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, and this, I don't have any, justification why FOTMob included that. Maybe we have to get them on the line, because the only reason I could see them possibly including him in there is just that, he's the 4th best defender on Arsenal in their back line. So just by the fact that he's 4th in my book, he's there. I don't know. I'm really
They've been
pulling at
so
nothing
good.
here.
They've been so good. It's like, how could you be a flop?
I don't know.
I disagree with that one. I disagree with Konate and Marmadashvili.
Moving on to the mid. So they're midfielders. They've got Wonder Boy Florian Wirtz, Bruno Fernand, and Xavi Simons. Take it away, Jimbo. What do you think?
So Wirtz, I mean, yeah, probably the easiest one. I'm sure everybody would say, yes, he's a flop. He's
Dog
done
shit.
nothing, contributed nothing, huge price tag, supposed to come in and command the Liverpool midfield, and I mean, he's got benched. So yeah, huge disappointment there. Slot's got to figure him out. Bruno, I think that's another tough one. He's being asked to, play a little bit deeper with their new line of Šeško, Cunha, and Emblemo. He could have had some more goals if they put some of those chances away early in the season, or contributions. So I
did miss a couple penalties too.
Well, that's a good point. I forgot about those. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess if your expectation was that he was going to be the one to tie everybody together, it's a lot of pressure on him, and they've turned it around a little bit here. They've looked better. So I can see him coming off this list very soon if their form continues. But
yeah,
I could see why he's on there.
He's got the track record, I feel like, to very quickly get himself off this list. I would agree with you.
And then Xavi Simons, big disappointment. I just don't know what Frank's expectations are for him. Yeah, we've seen a lot of rotation between Premier League and European squads. It seemed like for a while he was nailed on Champions League and whatever until we're taking the Premier League, but he just needs to start scoring or contributing somewhere before it turns into a big mistake.
Yeah, he's been interesting. I will say, just from a pure like goal contribution standpoint, I think he's been disappointing for what he was touted as or what he could bring. I do think he's got all the talent in the world. He's got all the potential. He's still so young. I think you look at what he was able to do in that match against Copenhagen in that 4-0 win. He really was all over that match. He had lots of great entry passes. He was really distributing the ball well. That's, I think, the kind of play that he's capable of. Nothing against Copenhagen, but that's a different level of opponent and a different level of competition than he's going to see week in, week out in the Premier League. Now, is that a different way of saying, he's still getting acclimated and comfortable in the Premier League? I don't know. Spurs need him to figure it out because Madison isn't going to be back anytime soon. I did see reports that maybe Kulusevski might be suiting up for the North London derby. Maybe that'd be ridiculous to bring him back and put him into that kind of situation, but you never know. But anyway, on Simmons, definitely from a number standpoint, he has been a flop. There's no doubt.
Do you think part of it is that he has nobody to play balls to?
That probably hasn't helped him. Kudus isn't the guy you're going to really put the ball into the box. Kudus, I think, is going to stay wide and, do a little foot fancy and try to, ping the ball in. But yeah, Richie's not the answer. Kolomwani's not the answer. Tell's not the answer. Odegaard wants to stay wide. Solanke has been iced out. So I would love to see them go get Ivan Toney. I think that would be nice. I would take anyone. Just anyone with a pulse. I'd flip the coin. Yeah. Whatever you do. You take a shot at someone like that. But yeah, there's a guy over in Bayern. Maybe go give him a call, see if he'd come back. He might be interested. He's got a few more goals to score over here before he breaks a record. Yeah. All right. And then moving on to the front line here. So we've got Isak, Seshko, and Cunha. So one Liverpool and a couple of Devils. Take it away. What do you think?
Yeah, Isak, again, kind of a no-brainer. Yes, he's been a flop. Well, I guess he was ineligible, really, for the first 3 weeks until the transfer went through and then played a couple of games. He's been in terrible form, not just for Liverpool, but even for Sweden. Hasn't looked great. So, yeah, huge price tag, huge expectations, has not returned enough really has not played well with those around him. It kind of is the same stories where it's just there's a lot of talent on that team, but they're not connecting, and slot system is not working for everybody over there.
I feel like Liverpool need a team bonding. Maybe they go to Pagliacci's or something and have a big pasta dinner or something.
The giant raviolis.
They just need something, or they go to a billiards hall or something and they just shoot pool for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Just don't even worry about soccer. They need to just kind of make out with each other for a couple hours or something. Get to know each other.
Wacky socks day or something,
Some sort of something crazy.
Something fun for the boys.
What about these two Devils over here, Seshko and Cunha?
Obviously disappointments. They've both been injured though. It's kind of the same as from Chronic.
I think that's it.
They've been injured. And I think kind of the same thing. The expectation was so high that United's been dying for offensive players to be consistent that, the expectations were really high and they missed chances early on. They haven't really played all together consistently, but I would not be as worried. I think United have looked better and they'll probably turn it around. But plus they got Mbemo there making them, they can kind of count on him to lift them up a little bit.
That's true. That's true.
It's not like Liverpool where nobody's scoring and Mbemo's there and still looking good. So
you think he looks good?
He's a great player. Great ball player.
Oh yeah, and he's a good ball player. Yeah. So interesting take, Fat Mob. I guess some here we would definitely agree with, some here not so much, but
just kind of brutal. Brutal for Marmar Deshavli.
Maybe it's just because of his name. Maybe they just were this guy sucks because nobody wants to say his name, but by putting him on here, it makes us say his name. So I don't know. All right, so we're almost at the end here. Just real quick before we wrap up, take a quick look at price rises. So looks like there's a couple of players who are actually going to go up. Nico O'Reilly's on his way up. Gabriel's on his way up. Ryan Cherky. Munoz on his way up. Timbers on his way up. Josh Cullen's on his way up. So a lot of players we talked about tonight. And as far as price drops, Esteve's on his way down. I think that's probably the only player. Oh yeah, Mudrik's on his way down. And
Good.
yeah, I think that's it. I think those are really the only meaningful players. Oh yeah, Brennan Johnson's on his way down. Yeah, he'll be on his way down another day or two. So yeah, I mean, with the international break, I mean, a lot of times you don't see these price changes because you kind of don't touch your team for a week or two. But
Yeah.
keep in mind there are still managers making moves, so there are price moves and price changes that could be happening. But are you thinking about making any moves early, Jimbo, or not this time?
No, it's gonna be Kudus. I gotta get him out.
Yeah.
I just don't know who yet. A 3.8 in the bank, so really could get anybody basically.
Big money, big money. Well, Jim, let me just say how good it was to hear your voice tonight.
It was a tough
really,
week, but
it was a tough week. We got through it together.
we persist.
Nevertheless, we persisted. And thank you all for getting through this episode with us. If you have, please remember to like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. Drop us a comment. Let us know who you think the biggest flop of the season is thus far. What are you doing with your chips the rest of the way? Who your captain picks are. Roast us. You know how much we love that. Still not too late to join our mini league. We'll drop the code in our description as always. And once again, thanks for listening to Tinker Time and FPL Pod. We'll catch you guys next time. Happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice